Hey, what's good people? Another round of the pulse, and I got to do one thing real quick, but we about to jump into it. We got to get into it. Hold on one second. All right, there we go. There we go. I had to turn up some settings and make sure everything was looking right. Wig, I see you. Here you come. I'm finna bring you in to add you to the stage, and you were here, my man. We got you. We got you. So before you hopped on, like I was telling the rest of the panel, we about to hop right into it. And the reason why is over the course of the week, last week I wasn't able to. We weren't able to hop on. My kids had school. The first day of school was Thursday, and I spent the entirety of the evening just trying to make sure that we didn't have any last minutes. Hey, I need a right. So, but we here, we back, and we about to get into it. But over the course of the last week, there's been a lot of information that's come out from various uh, places, and a lot of things have happened. And my goodness is the best I can say. Um, from Nolan to uh, POTUS waking himself up to the senator in Ohio to Haitian TPS to Iran. There's been a lot. There's been a lot, and so as I was listening in on everything been happening, the only thing that I could come up with, I was trying to like wait stuff out and see how things were happening, but we don't really have any definitive answers on much of anything. We don't have answers on stuff,
Oh,
and it's begun to seriously
gotta get rid of the car.
frustrate me. It's become a point of frustration, a point of angst, a friction point, as it were, not just with this administration, but even down to the state level, to our officials, our politicians, our law enforcement, so on and so forth. And so I wanted to hop right in and give the only solid update that I know of. Now, I'm also say this, right. I didn't waste my time listening to the BS, the what I'm starting to consider uh it's a freaking campaign to simply prop prop people up, prop themselves up as do-gooders, or to begin to change the narrative around their names. And I don't want to hear the lawyer. I don't want to hear those boys talk, because none of what they're saying has been vetted by any police force. They haven't been sworn in to any test. They haven't taken any depositions at this point. So I'm I'd rather listen to Race Batum Tatum than listen to them and their lawyer. But that's my opinion on it. What's your take on it, Rich?
Uh, Good evening, everyone. I have to agree with Mr. Glass. However, slightly different take on the three innocent white boys, the three friends or alleged friends of Nolan Xavier Wells. I want them talking as much as they want, because if they weren't talking, then we would accuse them of trying to hide. Uh, I think they're trying to affect the public perception and, more importantly, affect the grand jury. And I do believe that this is one of their tactics, by talking, having their attorneys there, talking at their where they control the narrative, so they can affect the grand jury, so they can affect public opinion. So I want them to keep talking, because a lawyer would tell them to not talk. Ironically, logically, they're being told to talk. So maybe they're confident that there will be no arrest. Maybe
Glass, can
they
you hear
already
me?
have inside knowledge,
Yeah,
allegedly,
Huh?
allegedly,
yeah.
But I
you
don't hear
know.
nobody talking though.
Oh, give me one second, Rich. So what you'll have to do is uh, come out, go into your settings, and make sure you have the correct audio settings.
And is it a special one that I gotta have?
Nope, nope. Just make sure it's set on default.
Okay, I'll try that then.
All right.
All right.
Sorry
All
about
right.
that.
I don't know. Did Stephanie and Lynn get a chance to hear what I said? Can they hear me? Stephanie and Lynn? Can
See
they
if
hear
they're on
me?
the delay.
I'm gonna have to start completely over. Let's see.
Yeah, they
All right.
just might.
Can you
Yeah, no problem.
You don't see us?
Yeah, we
I
see
see
you.
you. Can y'all see us?
Are you able
Yes,
to hear
we
it?
can hear you.
Can you
Oh,
hear
Can
us?
you see us?
Yep. Yeah, we can see you.
Oh no. Hey,
Ask
he froze.
them. Did they hear what I said? Or
Yes.
You heard everything I said, Lynn?
Uh-oh. They are having some high speed connectivity issues. Man. They
So
hurt me.
do they have bad internet in Houston, or does
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
I get you every time? No problem.
Yeah.
All right, we'll wait.
Can you hear me, Glass?
Yep.
Can you hear me, Mr. Wig?
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. President. How you doing, brother?
I'm okay. How you doing now? We'll let
Yeah,
Stephanie and Lynn come in, and then
yeah,
I'll start over and go back. I try to say it as fast as I can to let y'all talk.
yeah. Hey, but I'm gonna tell you, fellas, something. I was doing some thinking this week, man, and I'm telling you, this just reflecting on how things going today in this world. And I hear my man say we're the richest country in the world, this and this. And on Thursdays I go and volunteer for the homeless
Mm.
to feed the homeless. And it is really sad when you can say you have a person's a billionaire and have airplanes, but you still have people homeless and hungry.
Yeah.
When you turn around and you have to try and find money to feed students at school. So I don't know if we're saying we're the best, and we shouldn't be saying we're the best when other industrialized countries, people don't have to they don't have to pay to go to school. Their kids are eating for free, and they're eating great meals that not this processed stuff. So that's what I was thinking about this. We in trouble, brothers and sisters.
I'm right there with you.
I agree. Yeah.
I am right there with you. I'm dug in on the side of you. Um, this has become anyway. But please, Rich, continue.
Can
'Cause
you
we got
guys can you guys see us now?
Yep,
Yes,
we
and we
got
hear
you.
you. And we hear you. Can you hear us?
Great. Yes.
All right. So I'll try to say this real quick, then I'll let everybody else jump in. So the Nolan Xavier Wells, it feels like to me that I like the three innocent white boys who were his friends, allegedly. I like them talking. I like having their lawyers there. I like knowing what their lawyers' names are. They say logically, if you're accused of something, you're innocent, you should be quiet and let your lawyers do all the talking for you and wait for you to be arrested or go to court or whatever. In this case, they're trying to control the narrative by getting out in public and maybe affecting the grand jury, who are secret people who will never know who they are. So I understand their mindset. And for some people, when they talk, the three innocent white boys, and I say innocent because we don't ever want to be sued of saying that they're guilty, because we don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened. It could have been foul play, accidental. Nobody knows exactly what. We're just asking questions. So when they're talking and talking, let them talk. I'm glad to see they're talking. And like you say, I don't understand why they can't speak to the police. But I'm gonna take it one step further, and then I'll stop talking. If you're so concerned about your best friend, and you feel like you have to talk, but you couldn't take time to go to the funeral, and you feel that's so important to talk, to share your perception or share your story, because you feel like people are harassing you because they're asking questions, they think you're guilty, but you can't even call Christine Wells Wansley. If you don't want to talk to a woman, because maybe you're a little sexist. Okay, no problem. But you can't speak to Mr. Wansley, man to man, or young man to older man. You can't have your fathers and him get together and have a closed door meeting without attorney Ben Crump. You can't do that either because you don't like Ben Crump. So it appears to me you're really attacking to keep from being attacked. Now maybe that's a good war move, a good tactic. And I'll stop there. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, Will, you kind of started in on what you were saying, but let me pause for 1 second and share this letter since we were talking about lawyers. I want to read what the counsel for the Hansley Wells family has sent out in response to a lot of these public appearances by this group of crows, as it were. And you know what a group of crows is called. If you don't, it's called a murder. But this is what that reads. I know it's kind of hard to read on here, but it's a little more clear in other places. Now, I must attribute this to Don Lemon. This is where I actually got this letter. And it was sent to him about 4 or 5 hours ago. So this is the only other verifiable information that I have, minus the chart that I sent everybody that I'm thinking about putting up. We'll see if we got time. But this is what that letter says. It says, Dear Miss McCurith, please be advised that A.R. Smith Law PLLC has been retained to serve as local counsel for the estate and family of Nolan Wells. Moving forward, I will be working alongside the legal team at Ben Crump Law in representing our clients and addressing matters arising from Mr. Wells' death. As the legal team has stated previously, including during our in-person meeting with the Wells family and counsel, we have been and remain ready and willing to cooperate in arranging a joint forensic inspection of Nolan Wells' personal cell phone. During that meeting, we specifically discussed having the examination conducted through the digital forensics lab at Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, as well as the possibility of FBI involvement in that process. Our position has not changed. We are prepared to coordinate a mutually agreeable date and procedure for the examination of the phone. Accordingly, to the extent that there has been any suggestions that we have been unwilling or have failed to cooperate with the investigation, we want to make clear that this is not the case. You also previously indicated that Dr. Mitchell would be provided an opportunity to review the materials necessary for him to complete his autopsy review. We remain prepared to facilitate that process. Please provide us with the available dates and times for Dr. Mitchell to review those materials alongside with any instructions necessary to arrange his access. We would like to move both of these matters forward promptly and remain available to coordinate with your office. And it's signed by that lawyer.
What's that lawyer's name?
That is, I got it covered. It's from the office. Angel Myers. Oh, nope. That is A.R. Smith. A.R. Smith. And let me see if I can zoom in on the name down at the bottom and read it, because I sent a couple of different copies of this out. I sent 2 of them to y'all. That's not what I'm looking for. Give me a second. It's kind of blurry on my screen.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Ahmad R. Smith. A.R. Smith. Ahmad R. Smith.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And so that is the most up-to-date, the most current information, verifiable, confirmed information that I can find about this case, because Sheriff Ledbetter ain't said shit.
So it looks like this is a handsome black man in this nice gray suit. Oh, it looks good. On the website, A.R. Smith Law. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look like
the sheriff ain't said nothing.
Okay.
These kids ain't really saying nothing verifiable or trustworthy, for that matter. The prosecute or defense team, the lawyers haven't really come out and said anything useful or that answers any actual questions. We're stuck in the same place 7 weeks roughly today that we were on July 6th when they came out with the first bullshit story.
But you know what's great about this letter? When you watch Facebook, one of the big attacks after attacking the C toll call and the pool party. First was the pool party at Ava's house or Evan's house. And then it came the C toll call. They had to attack Janetta Brantley. But that phone, they were attacking that situation. So this letter covered, hey, we're more than willing to sit down with you in a joint cooperation to investigate that phone. And when you guys told me, Richard, they can't go through that phone because that could be tampering of evidence. And then I said, well, why don't they subpoena the phone if they're really doing an investigation? But that was another conversation. So they covered this phone. And then they also talked about, let's help Dr. Mitchell complete his independent autopsy. So I thought, yeah, nothing has happened. But those 2 points on the phone investigation, that they're willing to cooperate, we're not running away, we're not doing anything. And we want to complete Dr. Mitchell's autopsy, which means send us those other body parts. I thought that was wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when I criticize Benjamin Crump, Attorney Crump, for not saying meeting correctly, and then he said transparent in another press conference. Yeah, I meant that. But now I'm looking at this another attorney. I thought that letter was incredible.
Yeah. So Lynn and Steph, where are you all with this?
Yo.
Where are y'all at with this?
I'm still waiting. I feel like they're waiting for the next big thing to happen, to overshadow what's going on. Like our president does, or like anybody that's in trouble. Because I think the last time the president was in hot water, Tiger Woods flipped another Land Rover or whatever. So that took it off of him for a second. You know what I mean? That's what I think they're kind of doing.
Listen, I feel like more and more this is going to be an accidental drowning.
I understand.
That's where I feel this is going. And I saw the 4 guys getting interviewed by Officer Tap Dance, and they're right now they're behaving, in my opinion, like innocent men. And who said it? There were 3 boats together, 30 people. If foul play happened in that environment, somebody is snitching. You can't keep 30 people in lockstep on anything. It's just not possible. And you can't even do it with a handful of people. Somebody snitching, somebody telling their mistress, somebody telling their priest, somebody's telling somebody. And right now, to me, it's looking like an accidental drowning. And because I don't see murder, I don't see foul play, I don't see any of that coming from anywhere. Because my process is, I go through what I know, what I think, and then what I believe. So in the no column, I got facts, which we don't have a lot of other than the boy is dead. And where he was found. In the think column, I have all the possibilities. Possibilities that he was murdered by his three amigos, or some other person. You had the cocaine dealer in the mix. You had the football player in the mix. That all that stuff has fallen off, And then you go to the last column for me is believe. And what do I believe based on the information that we have up to today? I believe that he drowned.
We know he drowned.
No, but I mean accidentally drowned.
Oh, okay.
You know, and it's funny, this Malcolm Jamal Warner thing
It's
is,
research.
in heavy rotation every day about, based on the money part, but he accidentally drowned on vacation.
Yeah.
And, I guess because people witnessed him accidentally drown, there was no reason to have any type of investigation or whatever. But you know what they didn't give us? They didn't give us his, because he could have been drinking.
His
Because
toxicology
drinking and
report.
swimming,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, or most notably his BAC.
Well, hopefully with him, being there with his daughter and his wife.
No, but you can still have a couple in front of the kids, in front of the kiddos.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I mean, so if they didn't bring that up,
no, they didn't bring it up because they saw him drown.
yeah, okay, yeah.
You know,
What's been irking me lately is when something tragic happens, and then like a couple of weeks later, somebody it seems like somebody comes up with something negative about the victim that seems to try to be in place of like them deserving what happened to them, and I don't like that.
And
Discredit the victim.
yeah. And I don't know what happened, right? So I can absolutely like concede that it could be a possible drowning, right? Because I'm not ruling that out. I'm not ruling out foul play because nobody's given us any definitive information to show us or point us either way, right? So this isn't a personal this is just me talking. Like, I'm not saying that these guys went out and killed the kid, right? That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just simply saying give the mother the rightful information. Help the mother out.
yeah,
The country's
absolutely.
becoming ridiculously
Exactly.
divided with this. You've got people who are pushing out information that has absolutely nothing to do with the case. They're putting out theory and opinion, and then they're claiming that it's fact. And somebody said they saw him after 6 p.m. And then somebody said that he was like, come on, folks. Y'all ain't helping nobody.
And they wouldn't want that done to, if that were their son, they would be trying to get the same information. I just think that it's just that she should have, or know what has happened to her son.
And if she doesn't bring Crump into the mix, we don't have this much. Let's see. No, yeah, we don't have this much information, but we also don't have this much drive to get an answer.
Yeah.
We don't have enough. We don't have this much motivation to. Because if I'm her, and like I have an 18-year-old son, I would go down the avenue that's going to give me what happened. Be it, was he killed? Did he drown? What happened to my son?
Please.
And that's the path that she's on. And I don't blame her for being on that path.
So my question is, when we talked about this accidental drowning, I made the comment, if Lynn took a bat to my head and knocked me out and then threw me into the water, that would be an accident. That would be how I died. But it won't necessarily be, quote, is it the cause or the manner? Because the cause was he knocked me out. But the manner is I died by accidental drowning. But there's too many other cases.
No, that's not accidental. That's not accidentally drowning.
Yeah.
That's not accidentally drowning.
Because that's the
Accidentally drowning is you solo dolo swimming or not swimming and drowning. That's an accidental drowning. If someone else is involved, that's not accidental.
But you won't be able to tell if somebody knocked him out and threw him into that water. That's the problem, and that's what a lot of people are raising these questions. Because if you go back a couple weeks, there's a girl, the girl or boy, Trey Mitchell, who they said committed suicide by hanging themselves. Now, this is like the third time in the last couple of years in the state of Mississippi where an African American is, quote, hanging themselves. It's the same thing when they said about Teresa Bland in Texas that she, quote, oh God, she hung herself. Most black people we know, we'd rather get high on crack cocaine and go down to the liquor store and shoot Tyrone when we're trying to shoot DeAndre, versus hanging ourselves. That ain't what we're doing because we know the racial past.
I don't think that's not most. That's not most at all.
Okay, what I'm saying is, black people, we're not commit suicide by hanging ourselves. We're just not doing that. All right, and I'm gonna stand on that. That I stand on. And when I make the comment that some black people go down and shoot up half the liquor store to shoot one person, I'm from St. Louis. I know, and I know that's the absolute truth for some black folks in St. Louis, at least from the north side. Okay, I'm gonna move on here. The south side's a little different, but you know, when we talk about this accidental drowning, and then the thing is, I can't swim, so you throw me in the water, I'm gone. But Nolan Xavier Wells, they say he's a top flight athlete. He had a tryout for a college team.
Oh no.
Oh, gosh. Okay. All right. So I think that accidental. All right. So I'm gonna stop there, and I'll let Stephanie and Lynn continue when they come back, or we'll let Mr. Wig put his two.
Yeah, where are you at on this, Wig?
Yeah, y'all was saying some of what I was gonna say, but I think my biggest, let me pause this game. I think my biggest thing of it is, man, is uh, if nothing else, I would expect if it was accidental drowning, I would expect that the boy's parents that he went out there with, I would expect that they would be standing on the camera with them. As a parent, they should understand how they feel. But I don't, maybe because we're not there with them, we don't see it. But at the end of the day, I don't see them doing that. They was on defense from day one. That's why the one judge put out the letter, the memo or whatever. So as a parent, they should have understood. They're grieving that if it was whoever, whatever those boys' name was, if it was one of them, they would want the same respect.
Yeah. Yeah.
They would ask the same questions. The main question is, well, who was on the boat? I want to talk to the ones that was on the boat. That's what I'm not seeing.
Well, by the Cito call, we know that Wyatt was on the boat, and we're pretty sure Warren was on the boat. And we have a good inclination that Jax was on the boat, and possibly Morgan Seymour.
Right. Okay. So if they was on the boat, then you would think that those parents with that child would all sat in one room, even before the lawyers got involved. But before the lawyers got involved, those families already had put up privacy fences.
Mm.
Warren's stepmother had put up the first social media post and then the second media post, so she came out first.
That's what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, it's not like none of them ran over to their house to say, hey, did so and so come back or whatever. That's not what they were doing. They were in defensive mode from ready set.
And that's why I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, so I can't. Hopefully Lynn will come back. I don't know about the accidental drowning part of it, because if that's all it was, you know what I'm saying, the kids would have told their parents that so and so, they would have called the police then.
Yep.
Then it wouldn't have took 2 days to go find them. When you go out, when your kids go out with somebody, who you going with? A, B, C, D, E. Only A, B, C, D come back. Where's E? What happened to E?
Okay. Yeah.
That becomes a question.
Hey, Mr. Wick, can you repeat what you said? Because they just came back on. I ain't trying to take Mr. Glass.
No. You good, bro.
We heard him.
Oh, okay.
We heard him.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's all I'm saying. If it was accidental, it was accidental. No harm, no foul. But to me, they were on defense from day one. The privacy fences went up on day one. And if nothing else, they should understand how those parents feel. They should want their kids to talk and say, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what happened." That's not what I'm seeing.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, I
So
totally agree with that because just being human and being a
exactly.
parent and having children,
Exactly.
even if you don't have kids, you guys are all there together. There's some type of camaraderie, whether you're from the same school, whether you're in the same club, whether you're female, whether you're male. You should have some type of camaraderie or just human decency, where if something bad happened to somebody and you witnessed it, then somebody should feel some way and come forward. And because it's not a lot of come forward, it just makes me wonder if what happened to him was something that people saw or just a couple of people saw.
Well,
Because
ask yourself: is it possible that he drowned and no one saw it?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Richard,
Yeah,
Mr. Richard, it is possible for that. This is what I say. Don't please. It is possible for that. But if I know you came out with here with me, then I'm expecting you to go back with me. At least I'm gonna
Right.
check on you.
That's a
At least I'm
fact.
gonna check. At least I'm gonna check on you before I leave. Now, if you tell me you got somebody a ride there back, then okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go. But I'm gonna be able to say, I asked you, did you need? Are you coming back with us? That don't seem like that's what happened.
Well, once again, it's possible. And if it's possible, see, because, when I think of if I'm a parent of one of the kids, with my experience with the legal system, I'm gonna get them uh, lawyered up, because when you're innocent and you don't do anything, that's when you're most vulnerable. And when you're innocent and you don't protect yourself, because I'm innocent. I go back to me being accused of a high dollar crime, and I was completely innocent. So I didn't do anything initially. And next thing you know, I was looking at some serious jail time. And then I looked it up, and my lawyer told me how lucky I was that I didn't get indicted. But I thought I was behaving like an innocent man. All I did was proclaim my innocence. But without an attorney, that just wasn't that. The problem with this case is the court of public opinion is rushing to judgment, negative judgment, without all the facts. And
Well,
you know,
I no, I think
I mean, I think
there's a
it's about the what's the name, Guthrie,
Savannah Guthrie.
Savannah Guthrie.
Savannah Guthrie.
Nancy Guthrie. Yeah.
Yeah, Nancy's the mom. What happened?
Mm-hmm. Well, she's
We still
kidnapped.
don't know.
I can say they ain't found. They don't know
Yeah,
what's going on with her.
Okay, but
Yes,
what
she
happened to her? Is she alive? Is she dead? Where's the body?
Right.
They still don't know. It hasn't been affirmed.
And that's been most of 2026. We've been
Right.
involved in that case,
Right.
and we still don't know what happened.
But I think the difference
They
in
have
this
the
is,
ransom.
but the difference in this case is, some people may believe that one of the white boys may have killed him. But what most of black people if you go on Facebook and watch these posts, most black people, and I'm not talking about the black channelers because they come in and they ain't backing up. I'm talking about most black people just say, tell us what happened. If it wasn't accidental drowning, then why did they have to hunt the phone down? Why did we have to wait 2 days for the body to turn up? If you lawyer up because you're afraid you're going to be accused of killing someone, then why can't you and your lawyer reach out to the family and say, legally we're innocent, but our lawyer's reaching out to show good faith to the Wells Wansley family that my client had nothing to do with this. We're more than willing to sit down with you. We can sit down with the police, because as far as we know, the police has never submitted a subpoena for that phone. So when they tell us they're doing this thorough investigation and now the DA has submitted it to the grand jury, but you never subpoenaed the phone.
And
We don't know if you even subpoenaed. I'm sorry.
and
That's
so
because it
that's
doesn't. That's because they're still on the path of a drowning. Once they make the decision to go down the path of a crime, subpoenas. Fuck.
nah. They cut off on us.
Yeah. So my thing is, when you rule out, when your mind is already made up that it's an accidental drowning, then you're gonna rule out everything else.
Because you know what I did? I cut off pretty home. I cut off our what you call so it can't interfere and pop in and jump in and bump Melvin off.
Yeah, you hear him better now.
Hey Lynn, we hear you. We hear you, Lynn.
But I'm with you, Rick. I'm with you, Mr. President. Everything you just said, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Well,
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So the thing that I'm at where I am at with all of it is I don't know. And I think that we're all actually at a point of we don't know. Based off of evidence, based off of facts, right? We don't know. Now that's completely different than how we might feel about the situation because we don't trust Mississippi. And God damn it, we don't have to. We don't need to because they haven't earned it. And anybody that says otherwise is a liar. Mississippi hasn't earned our trust in the history of Mississippi. That's the bottom line, right? So when we default to pushing our opinions, or actually it's more of an expression of how we feel about the state and about the officials based off of past behaviors that they've all earned, and we're not moving past because they've never acknowledged it. Right. So we might feel one way, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to the fact finding, the gathering, I went through that table that I sent y'all 1,000 times. Right. We at the end of it, I can't conclude on any actual side. What I can definitively say is to hell with Mississippi and how they do things. And I'm not looking for them to push anything out ASAP, right? I am here for the process of the whole situation. But I heard one other guy saying, Don Lemon said it. He was like, we should at least have a steady cadence of what's going on, right? Maybe we don't have any new updates, but at least let everybody say, oh, okay, well, they ain't got no updates, but at least they said something to us. They've been mum is the word, and that mum is the word has gotten them more scrutiny and more outward angst than anything. Now we really can't trust Mississippi and their officials. Now we really can't trust Ocean Springs. Now we can't trust shit about Mississippi at all. Don't send me no food from Mississippi at this point. I don't know if you're trying to poison me or not.
So can they hear us? Can Stephanie and Lynn hear us?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Oh,
Well, yeah, they went.
They're going out, though.
Yeah.
oh boy.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that, Glass. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, zero, as we say, silence is complicity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, silence is complicity.
Because when Lynn says he believes it's an accidental drowning, I'm like, you don't even have all the facts yet.
Well, he's just saying what he believes, right?
Yeah.
He's not saying
right. But he's saying they're not even going to ask the subpoena the phone because they think it's an accidental drowning. And then your mind's already clouded. When your mind is already clouded to where you're not going to ask them to see everything. So you have all the information on the table, not just the information that supports what your opinion is. And then the other big problem is you send that body for that independent autopsy, but you don't send all the body parts, and you don't think people are not going to raise hell about that?
But just to clarify that the parts that weren't sent, even Dr. Mitchell himself said that was a bit of a normal process, right? That was part of it. Now, for them to not have sent it or after they've completed their portion, I don't think that's normal. I think that's abnormal behavior, right? Because in the letter that I read from the current lawyer, that's going to be the mouthpiece,
Right.
they're still asking for access to those pieces since they've completed their portion of it, and
So
that hasn't happened yet. And that
well
part
then well
is
then I'm going
suspicious.
back to what I'm sorry.
No, that part's just suspicious. That's all I'm saying.
Well, wait. Then I'm going back to Attorney Crump. You were hooping and hollering about doing an independent autopsy, but you didn't hoop and holler about making sure the body with all its parts were sent so that it can be a complete autopsy. Because what you gave us in that report was something that was incomplete, inconclusive. You made everybody look silly, including yourself. So if you knew that all those body parts weren't being sent, I almost kind of want to say, then why'd you even send the body?
Mm.
And then you even had a closed casket, so we didn't even know if Nolan Xavier Wells was in the casket or not. See, it's those types of things. So if we say, yes, they can hear us. Oh, okay. So they can hear us. So in my opinion, since everybody can hear us, that
Where'd you see that?
Oh, I'm sorry. So Lynn just sent a text saying, yes, we can hear.
I'm on D&D. Okay.
Oh, okay. So my thing is, if we want to criticize the state of Mississippi or Jackson County Sheriff's Department for not being transparent, my thing is, Attorney Crump, you need to be transparent and sincere in what you're doing as well. It's a two-lane highway. You got to be sincere. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think he's being sincere, and he's also being strategic at the same time, because there's right. He's got multiple different. So this is my personal opinion, and I'm not basing this off of much of anything except for past behaviors. He has every reason to be okay with this dragging on a little bit longer, because remember, right, there's a piece of this that's for showmanship as well. And to Lynn's point, we wouldn't really know about this in this capacity and the fullness of the capacity that we know about it, right? If it wasn't for Crump getting involved, there have been multiple other young brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews that have it's come to light that have passed since this has happened. Not just that, but there's been a whole freaking juvenile detention center, right, where they found a gravesite of young black bodies. But because it doesn't have the right person speaking in the capacity
Can
of
you
it.
guys hear?
Yep, we got you. It's not getting the same notoriety. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, Rich. I don't disagree with what anybody's saying. I'm just saying at this point, at the end of the day, in all of its fullness, we don't know. We have our personal beliefs, right? And I've stated it a little bit, but go ahead.
But I don't even have a personal belief. All I want to know is, maybe it was an accidental drowning, maybe it wasn't. I don't know what happened, but I do know this: something happened, and somebody's not telling the truth. Yeah. And for you to come back without Nolan, and you say he wanted to stay with Katie, and I wrote this down because I don't want to sound racial tonight. Y'all can mark the calendar. I said it on August 12th at 6:45 Pacific time. I don't want to sound racial. But Katie is really the linchpin to this. Because when they say we left Nolan because he wanted to stay with Katie, and Katie's like, no, he didn't stay with me. He left to go back with you. Somebody's lying. And when you start having people lie like this, giving contradictory statements, which is what Attorney Crump said in the very beginning, when I thought was critical. He said, the boys are saying one thing, but Katie McCormick, through her sister Gracie McCormick, is saying something different. Until we can clear that up, then no one's going to be satisfied. And like I said, if you knock somebody out or strangle him or her and throw them in the water, yeah, they're going to drown. But what happened prior to them being thrown into the water or falling into the water? And if you say, well, the person was on drugs or they were intoxicated, well, initially Warren Hudson, on that first interview with Officer Brandon Tatum, said that Warren was.
Go ahead. I was just saying, whenever somebody says his name, I've got to play like a boo sound or something.
Like that's fine. Because
Yeah.
look, I don't care for Brandon Tatum, but that's fine. So Warren said in that first interview that Nolan was not drunk. He was perfectly fine. And then the story changed. And that's why I said the more they keep talking, see, there's more than just Janetta Brantley. I try to keep some things, but I can't keep all those videos. But there's somebody recording every single video those boys are doing that's being put up on Facebook. And so that's why I said they're fully confident that this accidental drowning narrative is what the sheriff's department is already adopted, and the DA has adopted as well. And that they're not worried about the sheriff's department about subpoenaing or doing an investigation on that phone. They're not really doing a thorough investigation. And when they say, well, we can't talk about it because it will interfere with our investigation, that's a good logical answer. That's a good legal answer. But behind the, I'm sorry.
We want answers. We want answers. That's why that's the topic of today's podcast.
You can
want
hide behind the system.
answers. Absolutely.
You can hide behind the legal system and get away with murder. I mean, how many TV stories you have to watch?
Yeah.
And get away with murder. All we're simply saying is something doesn't sound right. And until I see Katie McCormick, now if Katie McCormick sat down with Officer Brandon Tatum and said the same thing those boys are saying.
Sat down with who?
Officer Brandon Tatum. Listen, okay. So
let's put a pin in this because we're going to continue to look at this, and then Stephen Lynn, the video dropped off. I'm sure they can still hear us, so I won't waste my time asking him that. But I do, since we were talking about getting answers on stuff, right? Now I want to push on to another topic that is not making any sense, that I want answers on at this point, especially after the loss of military members' lives. No actual game plan, be it a war, be it a conflict, be it a campaign, be it an outing. I don't honestly, at this point, I don't care what we call it at right now. Why are we still in Iran? Not just that, but have you all seen the list of demands that Iran has sent? Have you all heard of?
I want to make sure I see Lynn. I want to see Lynn's face when I make my statement on this.
Okay.
So, and I did see the list of demands. I looked it up, and
you can't.
Can you see my face, Lynn? Can you see my face, Lynn?
Man, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all jump.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yes.
So here is my first prepared statement. This is just for Lynn to make his day, because we're not going to agree on this accidental drowning. So here we go. This is for President Trump. I, Richard Lewis Brown, of August 12, 2026, under a sound mind and body, without the influence of drugs, alcohol, anger, or resentment, but respect and love for my home country called America, I am thoroughly, comprehensively, and completely, deeply disappointed in the white man's superiority, inferior behavior, and subhuman thinking. Okay? Now that was just for Lynn. So what I'm really trying to say is, and this is quote for Lynn Medeiros, a lack of leadership. I wanted to see his face when I said that.
We can
Trump,
you can probably imagine what his face lit up like. Yeah.
So President Trump has convinced the world that he was God's savior, second to Jesus Christ, or maybe the modern day Jesus Christ, and that we would get tired of winning. Well, I'm tired of winning through losing. You have let Iran beat you. This is what you have let done. This is what you have let happen. You have let Iran, the Iranians, beat you. But not only did you let these brown people beat the white man, the ultimate white man, the greatest white man since Jesus Christ. You have let these Iranians, these Muslims beat you. And what you really have done is let the Jews of Israel know that you are incapable of being a white man. That's what you have done. You have let the Jews of Israel, who claim that they are the chosen people of God, you have let them down. You have let Islam defeat Christianity. Now, I know Officer Brandon Tatum doesn't have the courage to tell you that. And I know no one in your staff, including Stephen Miller, a Jew, tell you that. But me as a black man in America, I want to let President Trump know I am deeply disappointed in your inferiority. So you had me convinced that you were the greatest white man of all time. You had me convinced. But now the Muslims have shown me, all praises to Allah, that they will not be defeated by Christianity. And I stand behind that statement. And when I made that statement months ago, that you got to kill everybody on sight to take over Iran and go on and get Syria out, all of you on here looked at me and you were appalled by my ruthless behavior.
Well, hold on. Let me get to Wig. Let me get to Wig real quick. Where are you at on this, Wig?
Yeah.
Wig, can you hear me?
Yeah, go let Rich go, man.
Yeah,
I want to hear what Rich got to say.
He in it, but give me a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna pause you out for a second because I want to read this article from the Time.
Okay.
Because I want to highlight the 6 things that Iran is demanding. So, President Donald Trump on Monday responded to Iran's demand for the U.S. to meet certain conditions in order for the Strait of Hormuz to be fully reopened by turning the call for compensation back on the country. Now, if you ask, this isn't in the article. This is Jay Glass, the movement. Okay, I'll post a link. If you ask the president if the strait is open, he's going to tell you yes, the strait is open. But we know that the strait isn't open. Why do y'all keep letting this dude gaslight you, mother? Anyway, I'm not going to go there just yet. Let me continue on in the article. So give me a second now. Let me post a link for you too, as well as a just in case. Yeah, we got bad storms coming through here also.
All right, I'm back, Glass.
I got you. So, rejecting the stipulation, Trump said he had instructed his representative to demand compensation for all of the people that Iran has killed and gravely wounded with their roadside bombs and many conflicts. Additionally, he went on to say compensation should be paid to the families of protesters killed in Iran, referencing the Islamic Republic regime's use of lethal force. Continuing on below that banner, Trump's remarks came after Mohammed Bakir Saad. Yeah. Give me a second. I'm trying to go over his name in my head. Zadar. Yeah, Zadar. Mohammed Sadr, the outgoing secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, on Saturday listed 6 demands that the U.S. would need to meet before Tehran will allow the free flow of naval navigation in the trade passage because the strait is not open. President Trump. Until America corrects its behavior, the Strait of Hormuz will not open, declared Zagdar declared in a statement carried by state media. The conditions are as follows. He says, never threaten Iran with any language or insult that I'm trying to get you back in, Wig.
Sanctities.
Trying to get you back in, Wig. Insults the sanctities of this nation.
Yep.
In the war and aggression against Iran and its allies in Lebanon, Palestine, Yemen, and Iraq forever. He covered these on purpose.
Yep.
Covered those on purpose.
Forever.
Forever. Lift the naval blockade and withdraw its military forces, naval and air, from around Iran. Pay the damages of the 2 wars of aggression and imposition on Iran without any reduction or reduction.
Wait, hold on 1 second. You mean instead of giving the black reparations to black folks in America, give it to the brown people in Iran? Go ahead.
Hey, listen, this is what they sent Trump. Pay the damages. Lift the cruel and illegal sanctions against the Iranian nation. Unconditionally release the frozen and stolen assets of the Iranian people. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas, I know how to say his name, but I can't read it. Agachi, on Sunday said an agreement with Oman to define new shipping routes through the strait was in the final stages, but re-emphasized Tehran's call for the U.S. to meet certain conditions. I won't go into the rest of this article, but what I will say is, for this president to have gotten himself into this fictitious narrative, gaslighting spin, and his idiot ass Secretary of Defense. He's not a Secretary of War. He's a Secretary of Defense. Congress has not changed the actual name. Mark-ass Hegseth. But for them to have gotten us into this war, into this campaign, into this movement, and for service members to have lost their lives, I believe they should be held to the fullest extent of any law governing said actions that they can be. Now, what I think will happen is Hegseth will blame it on Trump. Trump will blame it on Hegseth. Because if you haven't listened to how Hegseth has always spoken when he's spoken to Congress, he's always said, well, based off of President Trump's priorities. That's how he's always interacted with that. And he's just a piece of shit.
But wait a minute. He's actually, this is where I defend Hegseth. He's actually saying exactly what he's supposed to say. All roads lead to President Trump. He can't wipe his ass until President Trump tells him to wipe his ass.
That's not true. That's not true. Secretary of Defense, that position carries its own weight in gold.
Not when you work with President Trump.
No, President Trump, at the end of the day, he's still just a president. Regardless of the bullshit he's pulling, at the end of the day, he's still the president.
But at the end of this day, until he's out of the White House or until the Democrats control both houses and they can overcome a filibuster in the Senate, he's running it.
That's a great opinion.
Okay. I'm telling you legally.
Listen, this is why I'm saying that. Because this motherfucker has gotten way too much credit for being as stupid as he is.
Wait a minute. You must have forgot what I just said.
No, I did not. I actually agree with your statement.
You must have forgot. Because I wanted to look Lynn in his face. I wanted to look Lynn in his face when I said, I, Richard Lewis Brown, under a sound mind and body, without the influence of drugs, alcohol, resentment, or anger towards my home country, I said I'm completely and comprehensively deeply disappointed in the white man's superiority, inferior behavior, and subhuman thinking. Now that's what I said, aka Madeiras, a lack of leadership.
And can you see me now?
Yeah, I see you.
Can you see me now?
Look still. Okay. So I wanted to make sure, because he's been talking about this lack of leadership, and I have defended President Trump on some issues.
Yes, you have. But
I told you, I am not on the Democratic plantation nor on the Republican plantation. I'm an independent thinker. And when I call you, you can trust and believe I'm going to call you for what you are on that particular situation. You as a white man, you try to act like you were God's gift, that you were Jesus Christ in that picture. Okay? Well, if you want to act like you're a white man, and you're going to act like you're superior, and you're going to act like you're Jesus Christ, then get the job done. And you ain't getting the job done. And you letting these Muslims kick your ass. You are letting Islam kick your Christian, white nationalist, wannabe ass. If I'm an Israeli Jew, I am so disappointed in you. I am so disappointed in you.
But speaking of Israel, and I'm gonna jump down to Stephen Lynn in a second.
I want to be clear. I want to be clear. I want to be clear that on this issue, and I told you guys months ago, and y'all looked at me with disdain. I said, you got to bomb that whole country and kill everybody and knock out. And I told you guys, I said, you got to knock out Syria, knock out Lebanon. And if you need to knock out somebody else just for good measure, and sure enough, when those Iranians came back with their list of demands, their crew is on that list saying, you will back off my crew.
As a matter of fact.
And so I was ahead of the game. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good, because I'm not disagreeing with you, but I want Stephen Lynn to jump in and Wig also, because what you're saying when it comes to the crew, I wanna touch on that in a second.
Okay. Leadership. Leadership matters. And so think about this. Before this conflict started, the Strait of Hormuz was what?
Open.
Did it cost anything?
No.
Were they taxing people?
No.
Were they giving them, W-2s and 1099s and 1040s? Were they taxing these dudes? No. But today it is closed. It's almost like Iran didn't even know they could close it until you messed with them. Everybody was just flowing through, oil and, flowing through. Everybody was making money, and now today, nothing. And it's affecting everything. Everything. And I said this, I've said it countless times. Every Trumpster that I've ever asked, could he be your CEO? The answer was always no. Even though they rock with him, they follow him, they make all these excuses for him. I've never found one Trump supporter to tell me he could be the CEO where I work. Never. Because they know. They're just hoping to get what they can get out of it. They're just hoping that he does things to the people that they don't like without getting any shrapnel or collateral damage themselves. But what they're finding is that is what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
His policies, his leadership is affecting. And man, if I took a drink every time I click on an article where somebody is mad that Trump is deporting people and that they voted for him, I'd be drunk every day.
All day.
You got to go to a rehab.
I would have to be in rehab, and I'd be in rehab drinking because every single day you got one person or two people or whatever, all of a sudden they didn't vote for this. This is not what I voted for. Factory jobs leaving. New factories, where are they? I don't see them. Farmers,
wow,
going off a cliff financially, daily.
They've been going, yep.
And it all goes back to his leadership. His big, beautiful bill is for a fraction of the people in this country. But it's not helping the majority of the people in this country.
That's what Kamala was saying.
And now he's trying to do this and get people stirred up. But what's funny? The airplane thing that is now coming to light.
Oh Lord!
Right, where he switched planes on the catering cart, and see, Richard, this is what I'm talking about. How many people know what happened?
One quick thing. I will not criticize him for that stunt. Not that one.
No. But I'm saying my point is everyone knows it's coming out. This was a couple of weeks ago. But my point is that could not be held. I'm sure that they didn't want the reporters and everyone talking about this.
Right.
But that information could not be held. It was released. And now we know the story. Now we see the video. We see the listen, I'm all for I didn't want him blown out the sky. So I'm for but the problem is the people that thought they were on the plane with the president, were they at risk? If that plane was subject to be blown out of the sky, threatened, were those reporters and staff that were on the plane that he left, were they at risk?
One quick thing. I don't know if they were at risk any. Clinton did that swap years ago. I don't know. That I don't know. So, because he did the same
do it like
swap.
that, though.
It wasn't quite like that.
He do it like that.
Okay.
No, he didn't go in the front door and out the back door and do a catering. No, he didn't do that.
Okay.
This right here is he can't lead me anywhere.
Yeah. Well,
he just can't.
We trying to reclaim
my
time.
my big thing real quick is I said this after the Butler situation, whether it was real or whether it was staged. Anytime President Trump leaves the White House, somebody's taking a shot at you.
Yeah,
Period.
I remember you saying that.
Anytime he should never leave the White House. He should never trust his staff. He shouldn't trust anyone. If I was President Trump, I wouldn't trust my wife because he's on people's list. If those I'll say this really quick. Of all those Muslim countries, I as an American know allegedly that the smartest Muslims in the Middle East are those Iranians. And Iraq used to be part of Iran. Now that's the thing in the Middle East, that they're the smartest, allegedly. I stopped there.
Yeah, that's debatable.
I've heard this from people.
But I've heard you. Yeah, that's a debate for
there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy in the Middle East. Now, Saudi Arabia doesn't want to be part of that hierarchy. Neither does Oman or Qatar or Bahrain. They kind of have their own little system. But the rest of those countries follow the lead of Iran. The same thing in Asia. In Asia, China's number one. In Japan and Korea are running a strong, or Korea and Japan is running 2 and 3. Especially after World War II, Japan kind of lost out a lot of its prestige. Now, in Asia, they have their little hierarchy system. Yeah, they have a little hierarchy system.
But
so
Russia are
The leaders.
right.
Wig, where you at with it?
Hey, excuse me.
Well, you got that ooh-wee over there.
Wig, you playing video games?
Huh?
Are you playing video games? Is that why
Yeah, but I paused it though. But listen, here's the thing.
you paused?
Trump is the reason why you don't tell people that you have to tell people that they're dumb. You don't lead them on no hope that it's gonna ever be okay, because it's not. Just think about.
I don't think.
No, just think about this. I don't know if you guys seen it on social media or not, but we realize we got Navy carriers over there that the sailors are pretty much complaining, and their families are complaining how bad the standards are on the boat.
Yep.
You mean the food?
No, I'm talking about the boat.
The actual boat.
No, I mean the food on the boat.
The food on the boat, the bathrooms don't work.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you don't let people know at an early age, when they max out at 2. When they reach their standard at 2, this is what happens when you don't let them know it, baby. It ain't gonna be good for you. It ain't gonna be good. You gonna need some help.
And when you don't discipline them, you know how we like to blame children for so many things. Well, they have parents, and
And
we can
that's
blame the teachers. We can blame the teachers too, but they have parents.
and
So
that's true, ma'am. That is so true. But this ain't about this man. This is about somebody just being outright dumb. And somebody leading him down the path thinking that he's smarter than what he was than he is. And what's dangerous is he actually believe it.
yeah, yeah, it's like he's never been told no, and
No.
He
um,
hasn't.
I,
And he
I used
then
to.
let's I'm sorry. Just think about it like this.
No,
You got this guy thinking that he just don't know. I mean he can know no wrong. They asked this guy when they talked about the vaccine this week. Who
Mm,
what kind of science did he have? He said some
mm.
people have told him.
That RFK Jr. shit.
That's
Yeah,
where we at. That's where we at in this country right here. Somebody told him. A lot of people said,
I've
da, da,
heard.
da, da.
This is what I've heard.
did you
This is what I've heard. You know what I'm
guys see
saying?
Men in Black?
Yeah.
Did you guys see the movie Men in Black?
Y'all gotta forgive me. Come on.
Remember the guy? What was his name? The alien that landed that had on somebody else's body. It was what's his
He was a
name?
cockroach.
DiCaprio. Yeah, you know the one that was asking for sugar. He was an
Yeah.
alien. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's who. What's his RFK?
Well,
But,
wait.
but,
That's him.
but hey,
Yeah.
I had to come off. I had to come off camera for this one. So I'm looking at this guy RFK talking, and I'm looking at his hand shaking. You know what I'm saying? And,
What
and then
about
we
his
look.
voice? What
Well,
about
well,
his voice? He sounds like what
well,
the dead zombies would sound
yeah.
like if they could talk.
Well,
I'm like, that is
Well,
not a picture of health. If I
if
heard
you
him
gonna,
talking, when I hear him talk, I think of poison and sickness. That's what
well,
comes to my mind,
yeah,
and I
Oh
feel
yeah.
uncomfortable when I
yeah,
see him speak. He's
yeah,
about
but
to implode or
but he,
something.
yeah,
That's
but
but you gotta.
he's giving us medical advice.
But you know what? Hold on.
Yeah,
The one thing I'll say about RFK Jr. because I don't think he's totally right. He may not be totally wrong.
oh, he's totally wrong.
Well,
He's
I don't
totally
know.
wrong.
what a
But
I mean, he might be
terrible
right
job.
sometimes. It's a broke clock right twice a day.
but you know what? Listen, when you lose your dad, when you lose your daddy and your uncle to assassinations because they were bringing the heat, I'm gonna give you some grace. They took your daddy from you, and they okay.
I
No,
have no
I'm
grace
listening.
for
I'm
him.
listening to
It
you.
doesn't
I'm
have
listening to you.
anything
Please
to
go.
do
Please.
with
No,
Yeah.
it's just,
Don't let my reaction stop what you're saying. I'm listening to you. I'm trying to get there. That's what
I
I'm
just I
reacting
just
to.
feel like listen. I may not agree with everything RFK
Richard.
Jr.'s.
To me,
But
he and just like a just like Wig was explaining
uh-huh.
about maybe Trump or like a kid at 2 years old, you just like, oh Lord.
Mhm.
I think that he may be in the class next door to him with a whole different group of people like that. And I think that these people are narcissists. And I think where it says like that the emperor is not wearing any clothes or however you say that. They are just different kind of cats, and they are not wrapped too tight, and they literally and figuratively like go to the beat of their own drum. They are not connected to the masses as far as human nature or thought processes or anything. They are
this
out
this
there.
this
They
this
are
is what I
out there. They were
this
not
is
normal in their class. They did not have a lot of friends. And again, they seem like people that everyone has catered to or just go, well, you know how he is, baby. You know how you overlook
Mm,
kind of like the special or different person because you don't want to deal with them for one. And maybe because you can't really say anything or discipline them because of the way their parents are like overshadowing and trying to protect their ignorance and stupidity. So you can't say nothing to them. You can't tell them anything. So they are a danger to others and definitely a danger to themselves.
So
this is
here,
this is
well,
hold
wait a minute, wait a minute.
on.
Hold on one thing. So whether he's right on everything he says, or whether he's wrong, or maybe it's a mixture of both. If you think for any time in this country, I'm going to trust the U.S. government when it comes to pharmaceutical companies and giving us vaccines, I will not, because I know what they did with Tuskegee years ago on black folks, and that's one clear-cut example that they finally acknowledged some years ago. So there's other examples of where the government has experimented on people with these vaccines when they didn't have to. So with that being said, I'm not going to say that every time he says something about a vaccine is completely right or completely wrong. And I'm still a firm believer that AIDS created by man on the East Coast, and I'm strongly convinced that COVID was created as well. But
And you got that right. But let me
that's my
say this.
belief. And even
Let me say this. Let me say this. He started this in his position, promising a link to autism from OTCs. He gave himself a deadline. He blew that. Leprosy has come back during this administration under his watch. Autism still hasn't stopped. I just want to throw that out there. Kids have passed away from measles under this administration, right? The healthcare system in and of itself, and I am so happy that that sister has taken that position where she is, but I'll come back to that in a second. Under his watch, the United States military has had epidemic flu outbreaks on military installations because don't take the flu shot. That's Pete Hegseth, that's RFK Jr., that's Trump. Under this administration, we have a parasitic worm that was just about eradicated in the United States of America. We have another parasite that has damaged cows. We have, at this point, a whole industry, crops, Taylor Farms, that we can't even eat jalapenos from them bastards.
Don't forget the lettuce.
Yeah, lettuce as well. So under this, a year and some change, almost a year and a half.
Wait, Glass, don't forget how they use the prison system to pick.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't even talking about that part yet. I wasn't even going there. Not only that, but during one of his actual briefings with Congress, when asked, would you take your own advice? He said no. And this is what he's giving the American people. He's a rat bastard. Any other person based off of his family, I'd give him some grace, but he is purposely harming people.
Told you. He's a detriment to him, to everybody else, and to himself.
He went swimming in a shit-infested creek to prove a point with his grandkids. He told the public he sniffed cocaine off of toilet seats. Listen, I don't care what type of drugs a person does, but when you're in office, there's some shit that shouldn't be said because I'm going to lose respect for you. That was one.
He looks like everything he said that he's done. He looks like he's been through everything that he's done.
Absolutely. So a heroin addict, as much as they have tried to demonize, castrate, harm us for having crack downloaded, uploaded, pushed into our neighborhoods in the 80s, he's a heroin addict, right? I will take everything that you said about President Trump and that statement that you said that I agree with 100%, Rich, and I will also invest it for him to wear as well.
But Glass, I think the original question was, why are we still over there? Right?
Yeah, he was talking about RFK Jr.
No, I got you. But this is what I'm saying though.
Yes. Thank you for bringing it back, Wig. I appreciate that. Help me stay straight.
For people to say that,
the original question.
For people to say that there's no influence in our foreign policy, and if we were the big dog on the corner, how do we let Israel tell us no?
Yeah, because Israel also flat out stated that if Trump wanted to stop this war, that they wouldn't stop. They're not stopping.
This is somebody that we sponsor, right? That's like your child in your that's like your child living in your house and you telling them to do this, this, and this, and you gonna question what I say
But
and
wait a
I'm
minute,
putting the food on the table.
Mr. Wig, hold on. Even though you're right, see, when you talk about Israel, see, this is when things get deep. And this is when I start to really start to take shots at both parties. Because when you see the influence of the Jewish lobby, APAC, on both parties, on all those candidates and the money they pump in, until I see a candidate refusing money from any Jewish lobby, or for that matter of fact, I won't just go after the Jewish lobbies, I'm gonna go after the corporations too. When I see
All of it, yeah.
candidates, when I see candidates not taking money and winning elections, so when people say, well, it seems like Israel is running us, and we've been paying Israel at least $1 billion to $3 billion a year since 1948. But it never was really broadcasted. So when I went back to my original thing about a white man being a white man, and you're letting these Muslims kick your ass, but yet you want to tell people about Christianity and that you are the chosen from God, and you're fighting for these other white people who claim that they are from the chosen people of God, even though they converted to Judaism in Eastern Europe. And I'm not being anti-Semitic. I'm just giving you history. But you're letting them down. And then when they try to tell you, they want it. If you listen to what Netanyahu, who doesn't really represent all of Israel.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because no, I want you to continue, but thank you for saying that, because that's a very important point to make.
Yeah. So he's a certain type of Israeli Jew. He's probably to the far right, and not as far right as some of the other far right Jews in Israel. He told him, I want you to get Iran up out of here, because he knows you can't, as violent as I'm talking about killing women and children, you can't just go piecemeal and be politically correct and think you're going to knock off Iran. You're not going to. I don't care what you're thinking. You're not going to knock off Iran like that.
So can you go back to the countries that you were saying, the crew of Iran? Can you go? Yeah, because I wanted to swing back.
So here's the other problem with this. Here's the other problem. If I tell you I don't trust the U.S. media, then some of you may say, well, we don't trust the U.S. media on some things either. But when they say that Iran, Syria, Lebanon,
Yemen,
those four cats follow under the leader. They all work together, and they work under the leadership of Iran. That's no lie. But Saudi Arabia and Bahrain, Qatar, and Oman, they kind of do their own thing. And they don't want to be bothered because they feel they're just as good as the Iranians, but the Iranians feel they're better than everybody. And remember, Iraq used to be part of Iran until they split off. So we went up to the Persian Gulf, and my friend told me, you got 6 months to go over there and get out. And if you don't, we will revolt, because we're very smart people. We will not let you tell us what to do. He told me the truth. We have to eventually leave Iraq. So Iran is no different. So you go over here, President Trump, being buddy-buddy with Prime Minister Netanyahu, saying you're going to back up these Israelis. But then you got to kill everyone over there. If you don't have a game plan, now you really got to kill everybody. But if you say, well, I can't kill everybody because we'll violate the Geneva Conventions, Richard. We do things in a very artistic way, a professional way. So I can't be held for war crimes. Well, you've been past the deadline for a military conflict. You still haven't gotten the approval from the Congress to keep fighting over there, to keep troops over there. You haven't done that.
So I'm gonna bounce this around in a second. I'm gonna drop this down to Wig in a second, but I did not agree with that statement when you first made it. I understood why you made it, because at that point I was saying that we should have been out of there. We needed to get out of there ASAP. We shouldn't be there. This isn't anything that we can win, so on and so forth.
Agreed.
But because they didn't do what you were talking about, that you're expressing, because that's actually just a military strategy. What you're talking about, that's just understanding alliances, right? Mm-hmm. We've got the Houthis that are cutting off another body of water.
Yemen, right?
Houthis
in Yemen? Okay.
Yeah. The Red Sea, I think it is.
Yeah. Well, it's part of the Red Sea and another strait.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they've begun to cut off every avenue of approach for any movement of vessel, for any petroleum, any fertilizer. And this is going, because I'm about to bleed this into the economy in a second. Any and everything that we would have had coming out of there, they've cut it off because they didn't listen to what you were saying. And essentially, hey, I got to get the head. Well, I might as well start amputating the arm, and I got to pull a leg because damn it, you ain't gonna punch me and your head sure as hell ain't finna kick me. So we gotta pull something off of your body. We gotta unbalance it. So Wig, where are you at with that?
I'm there's no exit plan, fellas. Man,
Yeah.
there is no exit plan. Point blank in the story. Close the book. It is what it is. Because as to me, as it stands right now, no matter how you leave, it's gonna look like we're weaker.
Mm, mm,
No
And I
matter how
heard,
you leave.
mm.
we running out of ammo.
Right. And I was gonna say
Next
that.
administration.
Right, because if you spend on a Patriot missile costing, let's say let's use round figures, $5 million for a $30,000 drone.
Uh,
I mean, I'm not, I can't come up with 100 ways to use the peanut, but you got the math ain't mathing. You know what I'm saying? It ain't mathing. It's not only us using it. We're giving it to Ukraine. We're giving them to Israel. So we're on three different fronts.
Mr.
And ain't
Wig,
nobody putting nothing back in there.
Well,
Mr.
not to
Wig.
mention Venezuela still
Hey, Mr.
and
Wig,
Cuba.
Mr. Wig.
What's up?
Do you remember when President Zelensky came over here and they tried to jump on him and belittle
Oh my
him?
God.
Yes.
And he's been
Yes.
fighting them Russians off with his country. They've been kicking Russia's ass. And I
It
was
was.
all for Ukraine, and I still for Ukraine. And they tried to belittle him and say you should be grateful.
Right.
But he's kicking Russia's ass.
Ooh, that was
We're gonna
that's
come
why
out of
it's
here looking softer.
Nah,
We're gonna come out of here. We're gonna come out of
Yep.
here. Iran doesn't need a nuclear bomb now because they know they can open close the strait whenever they want to.
that is the nuclear bomb.
That is their nuclear bomb. They're gonna get one. They're gonna get one despite it.
I
But at
feel
the end of the day, the strait is their nuclear bomb now. And if nobody don't want to say it, they're gonna tax you for going through there. So that money that Obama
I
gave
feel
them
like
that was theirs, that was frozen, those are gonna be peanuts compared to what they're getting ready to make off the strait. Because we can't stay over there
Mhm.
forever.
We can't
We
stay
yeah,
over
can't.
I
there for the
feel
rest of
like
the year.
the next
Exactly. And like I said, Netanyahu, he found a sucker in Trump to
Hey,
do what no other president wanted to do. And Trump, yeah, for whatever reason, like I said, this is why you don't tell people they smart when they done. You just
Uh,
don't. You just don't lead them on. Don't give them. Don't sit there and tell them, baby, it's gonna be okay. It's not.
it
If
ain't.
we ain't have this money, trust me, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be okay.
Let me punt this back over to Steph because I know you were trying to get in there, Steph.
yeah, I was just saying that during the next administration, it's gonna the first year, the first 2-3 years, it's just gonna be like under construction because all of the stuff that's going on right now.
We're gonna have a
Um,
big plastic bag over the United States of America.
for real, and because just like what Wig is saying, it's just ridiculous. I just feel like everything is being torn down, destroyed, pissed on, raped, just
Mm.
dragged, whatever word or scenarios you can come up with. And
With me jacking up.
it's ridiculous, and
Yeah, Lawrence.
it won't end until he is out of office. And everything that
Okay, I know that kind of.
comes up is about him. It's about him. I think I read this either today or was it yesterday about even with the pool, how he was saying that it was vandalized and everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm careful about everything that I read and and believe and stuff, but they were saying that it was supposed to be a problem. Then he could go in and fix it and become like, woo. But with the cheap labor and all that kind of stuff that he had going on that was exposed, it kind of backfired on him. And then I read that I'm not sure if this is happening, but all these different things. Like when he put his name on the one building and then they actually took it off, I was like, damn, that was real. So anyway, they're saying where the cherry blossoms are.
Yeah.
That in Washington. Yeah. So it's DC. So it's so beautiful and everything. They're saying that he's about to have that mowed down and in a 18-hole golf course.
Yeah.
Maybe put up there.
Oh my
and
God.
first of all, you
No.
Yeah.
you have permission to do those things. So I'm not really that worried about it. I just feel like I'm sitting up here with my legs crossed, trying to make sure, look, I got enough water. I'm waiting this thing through.
Yeah.
Because I refuse. I refuse to jump and turn a flip and look shit, whatever, every time this man does something. That's self-destruction. Everything he says and everything that he does, he'll say and do something else to make you forget about the dumb stuff that he said and did before. Because it's like he's trying to one-up himself, and then he'll screw up and he'll do something even bigger and even more stupid or just as to throw you off of what he said he was going to do and couldn't come through, make it happen before that. He's just all over the place and he doesn't even know what he's doing. But at the same time, he does, because he's just diverting everyone's attention. And so everybody is like on all of these different soapboxes. And of course, we all have our opinions on all of these tiny little things that he is doing. And you've heard that phrase, death by paper cuts. That's what it feels like. So I refuse to sit up here. I refuse to sit up here and get cut by this anymore. I have my common sense, and it's God-given, like most people have. And I know what this person is about. He has shown us, has never denied what he is and what he's doing. It's all about himself. I believe him and I know it to be true. And so I am just waiting for him to have his plan of destruction, because he's just screwing up a lot of stuff and damn near everything. And everybody's just going to have to work extra hard together to get things back above par after this total debauchery of a second term that we're going through. And I mean, everybody's going to have to come together. The Dems, Republicans, Independents, everybody. You just can't blame like one side. Everybody will have to work together to get this thing back on track. And look, I believe the other countries are too. They're waiting them out too. That's why they just going around in circles with them. They're like, can we tire him out? Damn, he a special kind of, like that little kid that's hollering. You just like, damn, he don't even get hoarse. What you gonna do with him? He just cries until he passes out. They're just kind of waiting on the good people to come back, or the tolerable people with common sense to come back, so that they can continue getting money from us, and we can continue getting money or products or whatever from them. They're just waiting it out, because before this, I hate to even say, we had a good thing going for the most part. We had our problems, but it wasn't this. So I think that everybody is just kind of sort of waiting it out a little bit. I know I am. I'm not saying that I'm not doing anything, because I'm still going to vote and all this kind of good stuff. I'm keeping up, but I refuse to sit up here and let this food come up to me or anybody else to just keep cutting me with paper. I'm like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm
one
sorry.
thing well. He's doing one thing well, making money for himself.
Raping our.
Hold on to that point for a second. Hold on to that point for a second, Lynn. Hold on to that point for a second, because I'm coming to that right after Wig says what he's got to say.
Hey, just real quick. He This shouldn't be this ain't the job for on the job training. This ain't the job. This ain't the job on the job training, man. You cannot give the keys to a guy that's impaired already, and everybody knew he was impaired before he took those. And now you
So
want to
The
start.
first
Now you
time.
want to exactly, and now you want to start complaining about it. And he's off the rails. He's been off the rails.
well, I've got to
And
disagree
It's
with
not
hold
you.
up,
surprising.
one more thing, Glass.
Go ahead, go ahead.
When she was saying about waiting for the make, everybody waiting until we get done so they can make deals. The problem is going to be who's going to trust the United States after this, because who's to say the next president don't come in and that's off the hinge like him and do the same thing? Because obviously it don't matter what deals you make. He made a deal with Canada before he got out of office last time, and look, he went back and put tariffs on them, and we had free trade with them.
Free.
Ain't no more expensive. I guess ain't no more expensive in the world than free. That's just me though. So, Lord knows we in trouble, fam. We in some deep, deep doo doo.
Yeah, and so to your point of OJT, he's not training. He figured what out, he figured out what he was going to do after his first term.
I
He
agree.
saw this as a heist.
A test run.
Yeah,
First one was a test run.
Yes,
it's a heist to him. That's all this
like
is.
you said, it's a heist.
Yeah,
Sure.
make no mistake about it. This is a heist. And everything that he's done in all of his dealings, the only thing that he's done consistently, like Lynn was saying a second ago, is made money for himself. It's a heist. When people were telling us that he was a con man, folks didn't want to believe him.
I
Everything
did.
that he's doing, the only thing he's moving in reverse. So we saw TPS before, we talked about it. We saw ICE stuff happening before, we talked about it. We saw tariffs before, we talked about it. We saw the war before, we talked about it. We saw a promise of health care before, we talked about it. He does these things and then he swings back through them to throw people off. But the thing that he's continuously doing is enriching himself. And while he's enriching himself, he's flat out screwing our economy over. I am still waiting for the golden age. I'm still waiting for it.
But
It's been
This is
promised.
basically a
right,
recap
but
of what I said.
here's what
Glass, that's
here,
basically a recap of what I've said. I mean,
Yeah.
because it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing that I said, except for mine was more of a rant. Because I was just like, this is just why we acting like we surprised? I'm not surprised at anything he does anymore. The first year, I had to promise myself to stop saying he's stupid. I was so tired of myself saying it. Every time I said it, it just made me sick. I was just tired because I was just always so up in arms about it. I was like going 12 all the time. And then it was just like, oh my God. I had to promise and say, God, I'm going to discipline myself to not say that anymore because it doesn't help me. Certainly doesn't help him. It is literally what it is. And it's not going to change right now. So it's like, hunker down. We know about that in Houston or in Texas with these storms. You hunker down and you ride that son of a bitch out.
Yeah.
but here's the thing with
Make
him.
sure you got your water and your snacks and your candles because this is going to be, it is what it, you just got to wait for it to pass.
But here's
You know
here's
not
the
to
thing.
go outside. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
but here's the thing with Donald Trump, and I remember this because it was very historic. They asked him in 2015 when he said he was going to run. They said, "You don't have no political experience." He said, "I don't need none. I'm a businessman. I'm gonna run like a business." And he never ever backed off that statement. So he told you from 2015 he was going to run this like a business, and a businessman is going to maximize his shareholder value for himself, his shareholders in his corporation, or in his case, his family. And that's all that he's doing. And I never expected him to do anything for the country. Now, stop illegal immigration.
Rich.
Yeah, he'll do that because I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
what he forgot to say, or what everybody that listened to him and understood him, we corrected what he said. He is a bad businessman. His track record in business is terrible.
Right.
It is
but
absolutely deplorable.
Right. But it doesn't matter about him being a bad
if you're gonna try to run us like a business,
right.
But what I'm saying is, it's like you're gonna run America like a business. Your businesses suck. So here we
But it doesn't matter if you're a bad businessman or a good businessman. It doesn't matter if you're righteous or unrighteous. As long as you can pull enough votes for the electoral college, that's all that matters. Nothing else matters. And if you have to lie and take money from a corporation, because you say you're a businessman, you got enough money, but you still took money from donors because they needed favors in return. So when the U.S. Supreme Court made that decision in 2010 or 2012 about Citizens United.
I think 2012.
2012? Okay.
I believe it was 2012.
So that way, corporations can donate as much money as they want to a PAC to get somebody elected.
Yeah.
So, Donald Trump is just a reflection of the country. If you think about this, 40% of the country is Donald Trump. And then he wins by getting some swing voters to come along to help him put him over the top. So he said, I'm going to run this like a business, my own personal business. I'm going to stack the Supreme Court. I'm going to have my lawyers become the attorney general.
Oh, my God.
And I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I'm a white man. I've never been told no. And here's the thing. Whether you're from the Democratic side or the Republican side or independent, or you're just a tech billionaire, no white man, in my personal opinion, in my belief, I don't have facts for history, no white man in this country that has a lot of money and a prestigious education is going to be told to do anything by any person ever. They're going to call their lawyers and they're going to do what they want to do. And that's why when I look at him, I never expected him to do anything for anyone. He'll do a little bit here and there, but his bottom line is, I'm going to make America how it used to be for white men like me. And that's all that he's ever been. And unfortunately, when I defended him for the persecution or prosecution in the past, now when he leaves office, and if a Democrat wins and they got enough people in both houses, the House and the Senate, my fear is they're going to come for him this time. And they try to put this man in jail, this country will blow up. That's a guarantee.
Let me say this, because I think you're spot on. But I need to clarify for MAGA, when you hear this and you decide to jump on Facebook and flex your index finger muscles and be tough behind the keyboard, when he's talking about white men like him, he's not talking about white men like you. He's talking about the Epstein class. If you weren't rich enough to go to Epstein Island, he's not talking about your broke ass. If you live in a trailer and you're still driving the original miles on it, because you can't get anything different, a 1965 Ford or an El Camino, he's not talking about you.
I thought you was gonna say El.
But if you are on if you're a white man or white woman on Medicare and Medicaid, he's not talking about you. You're not like him. If you have neighbors that you can go out your house and look at, he's not talking about you. If you pay rent, he's not talking about you and you're white. If you shop at the grocery stores and you see black people at it, or you see Latino people there, or you see Indian people there, or you see Native American people there, or you see my Puerto Rico brothers and sisters. If you see anything other than white people at the grocery store, matter of fact, if you got to go grocery shopping for yourself, he's not talking to you.
But
he doesn't identify with you.
But here's the problem.
This white person.
But wait a minute. This is where you have to give President Trump. You have hustlers and then you got master hustlers. If there's ever a master hustler, no offense, Lynn, but they're going to come from the East Coast. They're going to come from the East Coast. And when they give it to you, if you ain't ready, you've been run.
I'm not offended.
And those from New York, from them 5 boroughs, if you can make it in New York or you can make it out of Philly, damn it, you going to run. And if the rest of the country ain't ready for you, you're going to run them too. So I don't, certain things. Yeah, so I don't hold that against him.
And Glass, he lied to them.
Say that again.
He lied to them.
Who was the them?
He lied to all of these people that think that he was talking to them, and he lied, and he's continuing to lie.
That's the thing, Steph.
He is not for them. He's not talking about them or to them.
He didn't define it. They associated themselves. It's just like during slavery. It's exactly like during slavery. The poor white folks that didn't include the Irish, that didn't include the Italians just yet, but the poor people who had already assimilated into the white culture, they wanted to identify with the plantation owner. And so they looked at slavery and said, well, we believe in slavery. We will take on the idea of treating another human in such a poor fashion that everybody will be okay with it because we're the same. Now, the white plantation owner, the slave owner, the old white man, he didn't tell them, I'm talking to you. That's something that they was like, oh yeah, we're white. We're white. And he was like, okay, nigga. Because that's all of y'all are that to him. Everybody's that to him because he's master over everybody. That's his economy. So Trump didn't lie to them.
But just like he lied to the farmers, all these people, they were he lied to the farmers. No, and listen. Okay, so farmers, a lot of farmers. You have some very affluent farmers, but then you have the other farmers who are they working.
Yeah,
they are blue collar. They're out there with the illegal people that they hiring, to help out. So they're out there with them. They thought that he was talking to them too. He did not say, I ain't talking about the poor. You know what I'm saying? The people, the poor. He's not talking about the poor. See, so he still misled and lied. And that's how he got all these votes. And then the people that are waking up now like, oh God, I shouldn't have. Even some of the, God bless them, the Latinos are like, oh my God, really? Now you see.
Well,
I'm doing my best.
When it comes to lies, both parties have contributed to lies with success. And both parties will do what they have to do to win elections. Because that's what this country is about. This is a capitalist country. This is another level. Right. Okay. Okay. You know what? That may be true. That may be true.
You know Key and Peele?
Right.
Key and Peele, a whole nother level. It's like politics. Right. Okay, you could just look.
But you know what's funny?
But with Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the funny thing about it. Yeah, Trump lies at another level. But this is the country that we were born into. Because the last time I checked, Europeans were lied to when they were told that they were better than everybody else. See, that was the first lie, and that was the foundational lie. So for him to come down later on to build on that foundation, the foundation is already laid for him. So, politics and lying, they're always
born into this country, and that's why I feel like we waiting them out. Because I'm like, woo,
because we're almost 2 years. Almost.
Whoever comes in next, I'm gonna say, look, it won't be him. So it's like, God, dog.
Well, remember, but some people said that he wasn't. But some people said he wasn't going to leave the White House. Right. But some people said that he wasn't going to leave the White House. I said, no, he's going to leave the White House one way or another, he's leaving. So we can put that to bed.
Well, I just want to throw this out here. I was looking at an article today. He's already started talking about a strong case for a third. Now, I agree with you. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you, Rich. I agree with you. I'm just
Look,
telling you, we're running
Strong
360 again. That's all. But I
So
agree with
he's leaving one way or another. He'll be leaving the White House.
Yeah, because
So-
it's against the Constitution. He can't do it. I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. He believes the lies that he spews. Even when he had that hat on, Trump for what was it, 2020?
28. He was trolling.
2028.
Yeah, he
At
was
that
trolling.
dinner, he's doing that to incite a riot and to piss people off. That's what he's doing. He's playing with people's emotions and feelings and fear. That's what he is doing. So it's like he's kind of saying that he's above the Constitution. Because while he's in office, he's like, what they gonna do? Impeach me. He can say again.
But
Okay,
wait,
so what does that mean? Nothing.
But if you go,
As long
if
as
you
he's
go,
in there, he's doing whatever the hell he wants to do. And when he gets out on the other side, he's going to try to deal with getting out of the trouble that he has caused himself, because
right.
we think that this is something. We think Nolan Ryan is something, right? But Nolan Wells is something.
I did the same
When
thing.
he exits the White House,
Mm-hmm.
his life after the White House
Mm-hmm.
is going to be a whole nother thing. So we'll be dealing with the White House like, thank God he's gone. But I would be lying if I didn't say my ear will be to the ground and to the wall to see how much information we get about his case and what's actually going on with him, with all the wrong peril that he has caused the United States and the world as far as his freedom. But he has all his attorneys or his circuit, all of that.
So if you go back in the past, George Bush Sr. played a racial game with Willie Horton to help him win the election. And I think it was in 1988. So every president running for office may have pulled a stunt here or there from both sides. What President Trump has done is done it more openly, with more arrogance. That's all that he's done. But he told you in 2015, this is who I am, and I'm going to run it the way I want to run it. So, it doesn't matter to me that now the rest of the world has seen what Black America has been saying about this country from the time we landed here. We've been saying this, but the rest of the world said, well, you guys are just suffering from PTSD from slavery. That's probably true too. But now the rest of the world sees us.
Both things can be
true. Okay. So, but the rest of the world now clearly sees it. And now you can almost see the Civil War where white people who have some decency to themselves, and I'm not saying that they're perfectly non-prejudiced, they are looking at Donald Trump as if you are an embarrassment to us as a people. Where other white people who are strongly prejudiced, possibly racist, are feeling like, no, this is what we want to go back to. So this ain't really about Black folks or Mexicans or anybody else. This is about the white man having to deal with himself for the first time since the Civil War, about how we're going to keep the country together. This is about white people.
That's a great point.
And Black folks, we can't get you out of this one. This is on you.
And somebody that's gone rogue, probably rogue or just out of control.
Yeah. And so with that being said, I gotta push us over to Around the Horn so I can let my babies get to bed. They got school in the morning, and I got some things I gotta knock out. I'll send pictures of the project that I'm working on, and y'all gonna be like, what? And be like, yeah, it's a beast. It's a beast, but I gotta get it going. So let's get Around the Horn going. No, I will not be going first, but Wig, I'll put you up just because you usually don't even hang out with us this long, and I appreciate you doing it. So I want to get you in before you pass out, man.
You know, my goddamn eyes get sleepy over here. So this gonna be real. This gonna be real quick. Listen, I was telling I don't know if Lennon was on when I was talking about the billionaire thing earlier, that we one of the richest countries in the world, you know what I'm saying? And we can say we have billionaires and billionaires that own planes, but yet we don't want to pay for health care for people, you know, and it's so frustrating. Sometimes I'm on this, you scroll on this TikTok thing, and you hear certain people talk, and they try to justify why you don't have a lobbyist up in Washington giving money on your behalf, trying to keep bills that favor you. Where the billionaires and the millionaires that you're saying that told you that you don't need Medicare and Medicaid, and that your Part D is getting ready to go away. They told you don't need it, and you're trying to justify it. We have to do better. And I ain't talking about. I'm talking about everybody. I say as a society, because we've been brainwashed. Not me. Well, at least one of us ain't. But no, I'm just
Right.
kidding. But when you have people that are
Two.
billionaires, that say too,
Three.
that don't want to that tell you what you don't need, and you agree with them, you have to really look at yourself. You know what I'm saying? You have to really look at yourself because down here in Florida, I seen a story on the news today where they're trying to where they're saying that school has started back, and a lot of the kids, that's gonna be the only meal they get in school.
Yeah.
But you're saying that we don't have money for things like that, but we can spend billions of dollars a day fighting a war that there's no outcome. Do you guys realize that they want to give these guys electric gloves now?
Yep.
But you can outfit them for electric gloves, but you can't put body cams on them. Okay, make that make sense. So you know where people priorities are about how they spend their money.
Mm,
So
Hmm.
so I appreciate y'all.
for sure. For sure. For sure. Rich, what you got?
So I'll be quick. I agree with Mr. Wig. I believe in socialized healthcare. But the only way, in my opinion, you're going to get socialized healthcare, you have to eliminate political parties. You got to eliminate the Fed, and you can't let corporations contribute to people running for office. Because as long as you have these political parties and you have corporations putting money into these campaigns, you're not going to get socialized healthcare. But yet you will continue to put billions upon billions of untraceable money into the Pentagon and its defense. With that being said, I hope Nolan Xavier Wells gets justice. I hope we find out what really happened. I wish the Congressional Black Caucus could have responded faster, but better late than never. And finally, President Trump. I'm done. Thank you.
Stephen Lynn.
That's what you call a dramatic pause. Oh, just look, don't don't drink the Kool-Aid. Uh, keep your heart and blood pressure down. Keep it at a healthy range, and just get ready to continue to ride this thing out. At one point, was it this year or was it last year when I was just up in arms and just kind of all crazy because I was tripping off a trunk?
Could be either one or both.
Yeah. So I was having a moment, and Lynn said, "Stop." And I'm like, "What?" And I was complaining about some of this crazy stuff that was going on. And he said, "What does he have to do with what's going on in your house or in your home?" And I had to really stop and get myself together and reset. It was I want to say it was like last year, but I've just been very cognizant to just stop and think. And with my day to day, not to give. You only have so much energy for each day. God wakes us up. His mercies are new every day. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff to do. You got stuff that you put off, and so you just need to concentrate, or I do, and it helps me to keep my sanity so that I won't get pulled away and distracted from doing whatever purpose that I was called to do, or purposes. Is it purpose? I'm kidding. What's the plural purpose?
Yeah.
Purpose.
Purposes. So and like Wig was saying about feeding people and our budget, and I mean like how all this money is going to the Pentagon, or did you say that, Rich? Anyway,
Pentagon.
we forget about the people that are in the street, the people like you and me, or us, that are helping our fellow people, that are still community. You counting your community. We still have food pantries. I'm just saying it's not all lost like it can appear on TV and on social media. So at one point, when they say believe a half of what you see and half of what you hear, yeah, it's just you have to balance it out, and you got to know there's got to be a higher power. That's what keeps me grounded, and I know that if I'm whatever I do for myself and for other people around me, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. And we're not feeding millions and all this kind of stuff, but the act of kindness that you do for your fellow person, that's what counts. So it's nice to be able to share our opinions and stuff, but just please know that don't let this get you all up in arms to where you just think we're just I guess damned to hell. But honestly, I was joking with Lynn about the podcast earlier this week. I said, with all this crazy stuff that's going on in the world, we can self-correct and help each other right now, but it's not like any of us are going to get out of this thing alive.
Yeah.
So just keep the fight going, but yeah, don't lose yourself in it. And there will always be some form of hope, and it ain't all up to the government.
All right, so I'll be brief.
Mine went brief. No, I'm just
I'll be brief. As far as everything is still, to be continued. I guess Nolan Wells, we're at episode 7 of this 10-part Netflix series, where there's a lull, and we're still waiting for everything to wrap up in the final 2 or 3 episodes. I believe it's going to be a drowning. I believe it's going to be alcohol involved, not necessarily induced, but alcohol involved drowning. In that he's going to have a high level of alcohol in his system at his death. Nothing wrong with that. This is what kids do. I know I had a high alcohol content in Tijuana when I was in the Navy. It happens. But sometimes, things, unfortunately go left. As far as our great and powerful Oz behind the curtain, Iran looks like, I don't know. There's been a more foolish looking president with regard to a conflict overseas in my life.
Mm-mm.
In my life, this one right here is, everything that was going on is now worse, and now you're in a position where a big country like China is doing the math on our ammunition. So what if they want to start something, or somebody else? We're in a depleted situation, and these munitions can't be created overnight. They take weeks, they take months to get that surplus up. And the funny thing is this man tried to blame that on Biden, because Biden gave away some equipment 2 years ago. And not 2 years ago from today, but 2 years ago from when he wasn't president, from the end of his presidency. This guy's still blaming Biden and Obama for all of our shortcomings, when right now, in my opinion, he owns all of them. every shortcoming. Job report, jobs, inflation, everything. You didn't bring down the cost of anything. Everything costs more. Now the Strait of Hormuz costs more. Everything. You just the worst in my lifetime. Easily the worst. Mm-hmm. And my East Coast ass knew about this guy because of his casino history. Mm-hmm. So I knew when this is when I was learning about business, and I said, man, this guy is not doing good business. When he built that Taj Mahal and asked everybody for money and said he was going to pay him 14%, and then when it was time to pay him 14%, he said, no, I'll have 14%. Y'all can take 9%, or I'm just going to default. Mm-hmm. And they caved. They said, all right, we'll take 9%, and he still defaulted.
And still use the building.
And when you bankrupt casinos, you just don't know what you're doing. Because casinos, outside of the Fed, casinos print money.
Yep.
All the odds, all the games with the house. And you could you bank not just one, but multiple casinos. And then nobody in America will lend you money. So what did you do? You got your money overseas from Putin and them.
Putin them. I mean,
so, I'm just waiting for the midterms that he is trying to manipulate and obstruct. And you saw the Mr. My Pillow got lost last night.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had in my pillow.
Because we had to. So that was hilarious to me, because this guy lost everything.
Yep.
And then tried to get into the politics so he could get some of it back somehow with his grip, and he's out the contest. So this is going to be real interesting. The first Wednesday of November. That's the day I got circled on the calendar.
And I believe that someone.
Well, here in California,
I still believe someone's gonna talk regarding Nolan. I feel like somebody's gonna break down.
But here in California, you won't know until January. Because we're going to be counting votes in January then, so you won't know in California.
No, because the Democrats will have that on lock the night of. California is the biggest electoral votes, and that thing happens that night. Because I remember when Hillary was running, Hillary got that California, and she was up, and that was it.
But remember, these are midterms, and they've done these redistricting in California. In fact, I'll stop there. Yeah.
Hey, Glass, I'm gonna take off, but just one question for everybody before I go.
Yeah.
If you have a president that's diverse all over the world, who's he making policy for?
His flight out.
Shareholders.
Himself too, right?
Yeah. Him and the shareholders. Right.
Yeah. So you can never say really that you're passing policy for the people of the United States when you're so divested all over the world. But that's just something though. But I appreciate y'all, man.
For sure.
All right, Mr. Witt.
It's late. It's definitely time to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my round of horn, and then I gotta hop off so I can give my babies their space back. So my round of horn is gonna be easy. Everybody, we were around when the Democrats were holding out, and then they ended up having the longest standing. I want to call it a boycott, but the technical term for it was a what?
Oh, God. Shutdown? Was it a shutdown?
Shutdown. Yeah. And during that shutdown, there were multiple different times where I said, nah, they need to open it up and give the people what they want. Give the people what they want. This is what y'all wanted. And I am so happy. Listen, don't get me wrong. I am always willing to extend an olive branch But right now, where we are in history, where I am personally, I'm so happy y'all getting what y'all want. I'm so happy that y'all are seeing America a little bit like we've had to see it. It ain't even to the fullest extent. This ain't even we ain't even really even scratched the surface. It's just you just touched it, and now you're regretting your vote. No, don't regret your vote. Damn it, I wanted y'all to get everything that you wanted. Everything. As a matter of fact, this is what I actually really wanted. I wanted you to have everything that was being taken away from the people that were simply trying to live. I want you to reap all of the hatred that you've sown. I want you to wake up every morning and be afraid whether or not you can eat. I want you to have to look yourself in the mirror and remember what you did at the ballot box last November or a couple of Novembers ago because you hated people so much. I want the people to get what they want. I just do. But keep paying your taxes because I'm a retired veteran and I appreciate you for it. So, with that being said, I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all hopping on and being on this late. Let me go let my ladies know that they can have their space, and I'm about to hop into bed myself. Got an early morning, excited for tomorrow. But as always, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you all decided to hang out with us, and I absolutely appreciate y'all for it. With that being said, God bless and good night.